Good evening, Think Nation. This is Brian Doyle coming at you with day 10 of the 30-day content challenge. If my eyes seem a little red, I apologize. It's been a long couple days, both with traditional work, as we all have, and here as I'm developing some of the content on the side for Metathinq, Virtual MSP, and some of my other properties. Feeling a little battle weary today, but we'll get through it. In any event, I wanted to share with you a little bit about some of the content that I was putting together tonight. I shared with you a little bit that one of the things I've been working on is updating our Metathinq website. So as we get all this content put together and start directing traffic truly to that site, we've got something to correspond. So I'll give you a look at that, and you can take a little look at some of the changes that we've made there if you've ever been to our website, or at least give you a feel for what that's all about before we close this evening. The other thing I want to share with you, and I know you've heard me talk about it before, is Bucket.io. Bucket.io is one of my favorite tools. It gives you the ability to basically do lead capture through creating quizzes and lists. There's two types of quizzes, and I'm not going to go deep into it, but there's a discovery quiz, which basically tells you a little bit about your audience, and then there's a segmentation quiz, and I really like these. This is where you're able to ask a number of questions, and you're able to separate those questions out, basically determine by their answers which bucket, hence Bucket.io, these leads should go into. So in this particular quiz, I'm doing a quick business health check. I'm going to determine whether you should be in the rescue, the improve, or the growth bucket, because there's really three different consulting models that go with that, and thus I'd like to send you follow-up messaging that makes sense based on your present condition. So we've basically broke that down, got that into those lists. We use MailChimp on the back end as our email mailer, and Bucket.io integrates directly with MailChimp, so you can choose right from the segment that you created right into a segmented list in MailChimp that corresponds to it. So it's really intuitive, really sweet, and I want to show you a little bit about that. So with that being said, let me bring up those pages right now. Sorry for the delay here. And you see now what we've got going on, what we have working right now. First, we'll start at my homepage. So this is the Metathinq site. We've really updated a little bit to follow suit with the message now. The Business Success Program is our flagship program, and it's really where we go through a process with small to mid-sized businesses and growing entrepreneurs. And depending on where they are in that cycle today, we sit with them and evaluate where their current state is, identify where there's profit leakage, and then we move forward to starting a business plan and a performance execution model. And this is a long-term relationship. We usually work with our customers anywhere from 2 to 3 years on this process. So we really wanted to get our website to reflect and really showcase that up front. So as you go down here, these are some of the updates that we've made to our front page. And certainly welcome you to come to www.metathinq.com to take a look at that. You will notice there's a couple spots, unfortunately, we're still working on. This is where our quiz topic is going to go, so we've got that there. And before we finish this 30-day challenge, there'll be a brand new video here rather than this banner to attract some additional clicks and hopefully a little bit more time on our page. The second thing that we've created here is a link right to the Business Success Program. And again, this image is just a placeholder for a video. We come down here and you'll see some of the content about the Business Success Plan process. And again, we'll have the quiz come right down here in that banner, and that should be up within the next day or so. We've also reorganized some of our other more traditional consulting assignments within this site. But anyway, that gives you a little bit of a flavor of what we're doing over at Metathinq today. Now I'm going to come over here to Bucket.io. And within Bucket.io, I'm taking you straight to the dashboard of the business health check quiz we've put together. And Bucket.io has created this great drag and drop utility that allows me to build a quiz, do some what they call branch logic. So depending on how you answer a question, it'll take you to a different question and skip what you don't need to answer in between. And then ultimately we find ourselves at an outcome. And in this case, the three outcomes are what I mentioned earlier: rescue mode, improve mode, or growth mode. And give you a little preview of this quiz. We're still working on getting the images in place here, and then at the end of those three, we're going to have a short video that really tells the quiz taker what that is really about, and what that stage is about, and then what their next steps could be, with or without Metathinq. So in any event, we are basically asking people how big their business is. Notice it takes you to the next question: was it profitable last year? Takes you to the next question: is the business paying you what you deserve? You can choose one of the choices there. What's your role within the business? I am the business. We ask you what your biggest challenge is. This is an optional question. You can skip past it, but we'll just say it's getting leads. Hit the next page, and you'd put in your name. And we get our results. And basically, it'll tell me that my business, in this case, is in need of a rescue. There'll be a video there that'll really tell them a little bit more about what that means. And then we give you the opportunity to schedule a 30-minute call with us to get the process started and see if we can help you out. So anyway, that just wanted to share with you a little bit of some of the content that we have been building. I know I've talked about a lot of it the last few days. Did want to show you, hey, it's real. We're working on it. And again, later this week, we start expecting some of the blogs that we've put together to come up, looking at the podcast getting launched the week after next. And of course, we'll let you know when the website gets up and some of these quizzes. We're at day 10 now, right? So if we really look at this, we're a third of the way through. At this stage of the game, I've got most of the content written, developed. It's going through an editing process. I'll ultimately get images put together with it and get this stuff up in the next week or so, and that's when we start really moving into the distribution portion of this challenge. And the distribution portion is the most important portion because that's where we start getting the leads that come into our business and thus people to interact with and hopefully generate revenue. So as we head into that leads process, there's an old saying that says 20% of your time should be content creation, 80% of your time should be distribution. Well, in this case, I'm taking about 33% of my time on content generation, and the rest will go into lead distribution. But I'm excited to see where this takes us. If nothing else, I'm feeling much better that the messaging for Metathinq and my other properties is getting built. Virtual MSP Coach will be ready to launch come the mid part of October as scheduled. And it's been a fun ride. I'm hoping to see you guys all along with me as we continue on the next 20 days of this journey. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow on day 11, hopefully a little bit more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Good night, folks.